I want an American accent. Hello and welcome. Welcome to Input English. In this episode, we explore the topic of speaking accents. This is a complicated topic with lots of things to think about, and I'd like to begin by asking the question, is trying to attain an American accent really a reasonable goal? Referring to the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, we are counseled to identify the things over which we have control and the things over which we do not have control, and then focus our efforts on the things that we have control over. If we follow that excellent advice, we can analyze this business of an American accent. One of the things that you can't change is the fact that you are an adult learning English as a second language. If you are watching this video, those would be true. You're an adult. You're learning English as a second or perhaps third or fourth language, and that can't be changed. People learning a second language begin that second language journey with phonemes, that is, the sounds of a language already installed in their brain. And those are the sounds, the phonemes of their native language, their mother tongue. Depending upon how people approach learning languages, those phonemes from the mother tongue may be heavily recruited for the pronunciation of the new language, in this case, English. And it is that recruitment of the original phonemes from the mother tongue that produces the classic foreign accent. In order to have native pronunciation, you have to be able to draw upon phonemes installed in your brain, which are typical of the target language. Now, with traditional teaching of English in schools all over the world, there's emphasis on grammar, lists of vocabulary words, and speaking is frequently done from day one. And that process of traditional learning of English will result in a very thick accent. People who take a more modern approach to English and learn it with comprehensible input have an opportunity to listen a great deal before they speak, import the sounds of the English language into their brain, so that when they do speak, they speak with a pronunciation that is more typical, more similar to the native speaker. I can only think of two groups of people who would need to attain a native American accent. Actors in Hollywood and on television, if they're going to convincingly play a character who is American, they need an American accent. Now, Hollywood has language pronunciation coaches who can work with an actor on their lines to perfect their pronunciation to generate a good product. Most of us don't have access to that. And most of our conversations are not scripts and lines that we are saying, they are natural conversations. So using a language coach the way they do in Hollywood is not a practical approach. The only other group I can think of who might need a Native American accent would be spies. So if aggressive pursuit of an American accent might not be the right answer, what would be the right answer? Well, our goal for learning a language, in this case English, is to be able to understand what is being said to us, to understand movies, television, videos, to understand input at all levels, and then to produce language that other people can understand. In society, certainly in the United States, there is no problem having a foreign accent. They are super common and in most cases are considered quite charming. It is the rare situation that someone needs to get rid of a foreign accent. Now, since you are in charge of your language learning program, you can design that program based on your priorities. And this is where our discussion starts to make a great deal of sense. You get to set the priorities. Is your priority communication and function? Okay, that would argue for a particular type of program. Or maybe your priority is a near native speech to where you're virtually indistinguishable from a native speaker. Well, that would be an entirely different program because you have different priorities. When I designed my plan for learning Spanish, I looked at advice from reputable sources and designed the plan. It's simple. 1,000 hours of comprehensible input on videos. 1,000 hours of podcasts and audiobooks, audio only. And 1,000 hours of reading. That's my program. It's not a secret. Because my priorities are related to being conversant, being capable, being able to travel, being able to express myself, being able to understand other people, and possessing a large enough vocabulary that I can converse with educated people on a variety of topics. I like my program. If I were studying a language very different from English, given that Spanish and English have a lot in common because of our Latin backgrounds for these two languages, if my target language was very different than English, then my 3,000 hour program that I designed would expand to about a 5,000 hour program to learn the new language. If I had the priority of near native pronunciation, I would design a very different program. First of all, it would be much bigger. It would have much more input. And I would listen to several thousand hours of videos and audios before trying to speak and before trying to read. The two steps in our language learning journey that reinforce our accent are the steps we take when we read and when we speak. When we read, we sound out the words in our head. When we speak aloud using phonemes. And the earlier you speak and the earlier you read, the more you're going to dip into your reservoir of phonemes that came from your mother tongue, your primary language. So if your priority is extraordinarily good accent, then get much more input in the form of videos and podcasts and audiobooks and dramatically delay reading and speaking. English is spoken around the world, and there are many countries where English is the native language, and each country has its own distinct way of speaking. If you set the priority that you wanted your pronunciation to be typical of an American accent, then you would want to source your input from American input. I made that choice in my learning Spanish. I identified early on that I have an affinity for the way Spanish is spoken in Spain. That isn't to say that the Spanish spoken in Spain is superior. No. What I'm saying is that I like it. And because I like it, it adds to my enjoyment. And so that's where I sourced my input for the first 1,000 hours of input was almost exclusively from Spain because I wanted those phonemes. I wanted those figures of speech. I wanted that vocabulary. You're allowed to be selfish in this respect. You're allowed to learn what you want to learn. So if you have set your priority with an affinity for an American accent, similar to what I have done in my Spanish studies, then simply source your input from those sources. After you have thousands of hours of input, it will not harm you to get input from British sources or from Australian sources. But if you're trying to form the set of phonemes in your brain that will be the basis of your pronunciation, if your priority is toward a particular accent, then just use input from that source. It is quite unusual for a language learner who is learning their second, third, or fourth language to attain a native speech pattern. It is extremely unusual. It is not impossible, it's just very unusual. So as you look at this topic, just look at it clear-eyed. Just be aware that this is all about your priorities. I stated my case. My priority is communication, and I have no qualms about speaking to somebody with an American accent. I have no concerns about that whatsoever. So my recommendation, figure out what you want, set your priorities, and then execute your plan. Focus on the things that you can control. You can control the amount of input and the type of input you get. So if you want to work on pronunciation, lots of listening during the first several thousand hours. So that's the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped you with this question. I invite comments below, and I hope you join us in future videos. See you soon.